Talk about the innovation that really occurred with fractionated laser resurfacing and why this was such a game changer for us as dermatologists.
Yeah, so we have fractionated lasers all around us. They exist kind of everywhere. They're pervasive in almost every aesthetic practice nowadays. And
Yeah.
it wasn't always that case, right? So the way
No.
lasers developed is we never had these fractionated types of lasers. We had full surface ablative resurfacing, where essentially these lasers kind of remove the top layer of the skin completely, and it required intense healing time. It was painful. There was often complications associated with it. It wasn't a very practical way to do minimally invasive or moderate downtime treatments. And, for a patient to go through with that was like once a year at most, right? So,
Right.
and we remember those days. So that was kind of like the 1990s. That was like fully ablative resurfacing. We had CO2, we had these erbium lasers. And then we had this really awesome development, and I love to talk about it because it was out of my institution, Mass General. Doctors Rox Anderson and Dr. Manstein, they published an awesome paper in 2004. It's called Fractionated Photothermolysis, and this concept was developed where we didn't have to completely blow up the top layer of the skin to cause rejuvenation of the skin or repair the skin, right? So by instead treating a certain percentage of the skin and going deeper into the skin with either non-ablative or ablative resurfacing, we were able to to remodel the tissue without vaporizing and removing the tissue, and cause almost a regenerative reaction underneath the surface of the skin. So you had much less downtime, much less painful, much less tolerable for patients, and then still got significant improvement over time as the skin started to regenerate. So we see these lasers all around us, and a lot of popular names of lasers that we come to know and love. And we've kind of moved away from that whole ablative resurfacing. Now, we still do it here and there, but it's definitely not the mode that we choose for most of our patients nowadays.
Yeah. And that's such a good explanation. I knew you would be, able to distill it down, because that's exactly right. And it also opened up, I think, our ability to treat more skin types, more Fitzpatrick photo skin types. So was another plus that we saw with that innovation. Going into Fraxel for a little bit, and this has certainly been one of the most popular and the most valued of the fractionated laser systems, let's say. And I remember when the Restore first came out, and then they had the Dual not too long after that. And now we have the FTX. So kind of walk us through that progression, and what did they add as they moved along?
Yeah, so I think that most of the developments in this field have come from an unmet need, right? So when we had our ablative resurfacing, it was fantastic. We wanted to repair tissue, but as we become more and more nuanced in this arena of lasers, energy-based devices, and aesthetics, we realize we can kind of do more and more without completely removing tissue, right? And so non-ablative was developed to kind of remodel the skin without removing the surface of the skin. Fractionated because we wanted less downtime with treatments. We want to be able to treat potentially skin of color, reduce complication risk. And so similarly, our devices have gone through kind of this progression where they become more acceptable to use, less downtime overall, kind of focusing on certain areas to become more targeted in the skin. And so, for example, with the Restore, this is a 1550 nanometer wavelength, we're targeting water in the tissue, but we're targeting deeper into the tissue, right? So we're getting into that mid-dermis, about sometimes even get up to 1.4 millimeters into the skin. And by creating these fractionated columns deeper in the skin, we're remodeling tissues and deeper wrinkles, acne scars. We don't have to necessarily remove the top layer of the tissue to go deep. And that was kind of an innovative concept with the Fraxel Restore. The next Fraxel, the Fraxel Dual that was developed, incorporated another wavelength, right? The 1927 nanometer wavelength. I think of the 1550 and 1927 kind of like, they're two peas in a pod, and, with both, you can kind of do a lot. The 1550 goes deeper, and 1927 goes way more superficial because it has much more affinity for water. And so we were between these two different wavelengths with the Dual, we were able to not just treat deep, but also treat superficially at that dermo-epidermal junction to help resurface the top layer of skin. I almost call it almost like a subablative laser, because it's kind of popping out these little little, I call them little manhole covers of epidermis around the skin to help regenerate, almost like almost like you're an ablative laser. And for this laser, this focuses more on kind of pigment, photodamage, superficial qualities of the skin that we weren't necessarily targeting with our deeper lasers with the 1550, and almost kind of like we're doing an ablative resurfacing, but not with the downtime and the complication risk that's associated with that.